He looks like he was on the island. Okay, Mark, that's a little bit too far. It's too far.
And now, folks, going back down memory lane with Mr. J. Allen Brack, the former president of Blizzard Entertainment. I used to rip this guy a new one every single time. I thought he had very silly hair and he spoke in a very strange, peculiar way, but this is a patsy. He was made to leave Blizzard because of the so-called allegations. And well, folks, aren't we having just a jolly good time today?
Here they come. I'll stop them.
And all I have to say is, ladies and gentlemen, if you could see what I'm seeing from where I'm sitting, it's quite the sight for sore. 2 black eyes. And in fact, I can't even show you this so much because I bet YouTube, as soon as they see a glimpse of apparent nudity, they're gonna strike my channel. So the best I can do, or should I be the best I can do, is just to use my shield and cover up her assets. But if you go to the PlayStation official channel, it's on there. It's not age restricted, but I just know YouTube and their tricks already. So trust me, bros, I wanted you to see the full bouncy glory, but after careful analysis, I just realized no matter how careful I can be, they're gonna flag it for being something a bit more naughtier than thou. And anyway, what's this got to do with today's video, you might ask yourselves, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's to do with Blizzard Entertainment.
In a zombie apocalypse, Grace and Leon have you covered, bro.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, he says against the hue of blue light behind him that I find myself almost in agreement that I wished I'd never believed those stupid stories, those silly stories about working for Blizzard Entertainment, where if you're a woman who's just had a baby and you've put your boob milk in the fridge at work at Blizzard and it's stolen by a very thirsty man next to you because I guess men like lady breast milk, then why on earth would you think that was a true story? Why would women come forward and spill their guts to a man working at Kotaku at the time called Jason Schreier, but as he's a Jew, I like to call him Jason Liar, who fabricated such stories and is now probably facing a lawsuit himself, if you want to believe that.
And then purposefully misinterpreting them in his writing. And then when he found out everybody misinterpreted it, he goes, oh, well, if I knew people would have been so excited about this.
So on X, the real story by Mr. Soy Boy himself, Jason Schreier, the truth behind the sexual harassment at Blizzard. And of course, what they're saying here in the comments section is hilarious. By the way, I wanted to draw your attention to Jody, who says, it's been a minute, but I wanted to share some personal news. Back in June, I rejoined Blizzard on the Overwatch product marketing team. In a lot of ways, it's felt like a homecoming, not a Spider-Man homecoming, of course, but I'm sugar stoked or super stoked to step into the new type of role on a game that means the world to me. And look at this. This is Overwatch 2 and it looks absolutely shit. Who cares about this? Nobody does. It's shit, but good luck to you that you came back. She's probably one of the people that faked her story to get some extra money from BlizzCon. Look, I'm not going to say that Blizzard are saints. You know, they had Bobby Kotick ruling over them, the same Bobby Kotick that every time he got a bonus, he would award himself with it and not redistribute it through his employees who worked so hard to make the company what it is. Oh, of course not. No. Mr. Bobby Kotick is going to keep that for himself, isn't he? But back to this, folks. The comments here are absolutely awash with everything. This guy here says, well. Turns out a lot of the allegations against Blizzard's misconducts were false, with the objective to kick out a lot of the white men out of the company working at Blizz. Doesn't really surprise me. A lot of us suspected that for a good long while. And of course, Asmongold updates. I've also backed up the claims that, again, the harassment scandal was proven to be fake, and all because of this complete total Jewish wanker right here, Mrs. Jason Schreier. By the way, if you go on his Twitter feed now, he's actually protected all of his comments. I can't imagine why. This is the guy on YouTube that he's invaded now, by the way, with 140,000 subscribers who hang on to every word he says. How can you forget He, that's Jason Schreier, basically called the artist an immature 14-year-old.
Your tits are way too big. That is clearly like a C cup or bigger. Looks like it was made by like a horny 15-year-old, and we're trying to be a little bit more mature than that.
The drama that ensued from this hit piece was one of the key elements that added to the culture war that was simmering at the time 13 years ago. Then came the eventual deluge of media attacks against video games that lasted over a decade in an attempt to break down the boys club, because men can't have fun crafting their own ideas. Women have to come in and invade and spoil the fun for everyone. Oh my God. It opened the door to a massive influx of feminists into the industry, into games journalism, and started adding things to games that the core audience didn't care about, of course, like covering up the women. Game developers really need to stop letting teenage boys design their characters by Jason Schreier, the man who went to Jeff Epstein's island. Not allegedly. At least they're cheap, I guess. What an actual shitty thing to say, because first of all, that's a really nice artistic game design of a female.
The hand-drawn artwork is a must-see of the game. It's just wonderful. And I feel bad because there's some levels that I run through in like 2 seconds, and I know some artist spent 3 weeks to a month, if not 2 months, drawing that level out. The attention to detail in the graphics is gorgeous. It's all hand-drawn, back like we used to love in the olden days. And
by the way, did Jason Schreier have a problem with Lady Dimitrescu in Resident Evil? Probably not. He's probably sitting in the corner having a good old wank, wasn't he? Because this man couldn't get any action at the time. This is the man who ruined Vanillaware games for you. They have never been the same since Dragon's Crown. Yeah, I hope he got blacklisted from them, because even, is it Rockstar Games? They've actually blacklisted Schreier as well. Good, I'm glad. Bethesda did for the time being, until they lifted that blanket off, and then Todd Howard crossed his legs like Sharon Stone from Basic Instinct and gave Mrs. Jason Schreier the interview of a lifetime, which turned out to be a bit of a non-plus in the end, because it was stuff that we kind of suspected. So this is the video where Jason Schreier admits that some of his allegations were false and others are true, but he has no way to verify or back those claims up, because it's fake women taking a forward step, saying their piece, and stepping back and hoping for the best possible outcome, which is the firing of white men. Now, this guy is an absolute douchebag. He's despicable. I just don't like him at all. Am I a grifter? No, but I like to sit down with my mask fully off and tell you what I really think. As someone that was around when he first dropped and read the lawsuit, he reported allegations made that were in the lawsuit. That's a fact. The lawsuit contains these allegations. This coming up again and someone acting like it didn't happen is wild, since there were real consequences. That's true. And the allegations that are verified by multiple parties and screenshots of the group chat are damning enough. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, even though the Blizzard lawsuit was eventually settled, there were still consequences. Casualties of war, namely J. Allen Brack, the former Blizzard president right here, whose video I will play in a minute. Now, yes, I used to rip this guy a new one every time I saw him making a video like this, but he was a patsy. He shouldn't have gone, but again, because he endorsed frat boy behavior, and I applaud video game companies that have that as an institution, because you're supposed to let off some steam, right? Why not? You're toiling hard work every day for 14 hours plus, making the best possible AAA title ever, and you should let some steam off, go and have some fun, whatever, as long as nobody gets hurt in the process, I'm all for that. But this poor guy right here, he used to take the brunt of it. I even made a video about this, thinking that this guy was an absolute D-bag. I shouldn't have, but it's up there on my channel. It's there for prosperity, whatever. I won't make that mistake again. I think the biggest learning curve that we can make from allegations, until you give us hard concrete proof, which Liar the Schreier couldn't do, then well, he's gonna get his comeuppance. And look, that's a hell of a downvoted ratio right there, but let's have a quick look at this video as a reminder, folks.
In our decision making, and then to make matters worse, we were too slow to talk with all of you. When I think about what I'm most unhappy about, there's really two things. The first one is we didn't live up to the high standards that we really set for ourselves. And the second is we failed in our purpose. And for that, I am sorry, and I accept accountability.
See, what a guy. At least he actually accepted accountability and responsibility. I think that's actually good, and he's got the reaction he wanted. Whether you think he's being a showman or he's doing it because they're never going to elicit that kind of reaction, well, I can leave that choice up to you folks. You can either agree or disagree, but honestly, I hope the biggest outcome of this situation that Jason Schreier faces a lawsuit against him and Bloomberg for fabricating allegations that actually ruined Blizzard and its market share in terms of what it used to be worth once. And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you were me and if I were you, I hope to catch you catching me for the return of the next video.
Do you like Jason Schreier as a journalist? No, I don't, actually. He's literally the last person you could ever trust. And he's a coward. He speaks from his fucking pillow fort over on Blue Sky and has other journalists share it on Twitter. Like, I never really had a very strong opinion about Jason Schreier until it was just a few months ago with the Larian Studios AI accusations. He made the games industry, like the journalists in the games industry, as well as a bunch of players, rain hellfire down on Larian Studios for no reason.